The build I'm showcasing you today is the Aerenal Paladin Elf. It's part of the Undying Court lore set, and as such we have to use the Undying Court deity. So this build is a lore build, it's not min-max build, so do not come in here expecting to find something that clears Reaper 10. This is part of a series of build that relies on the lore to create characters that can be part of the environment. Now, Aerenal Elves, you specialize in the use of longsword, rapiers, and magics. So you can choose which one you prefer, but please keep in mind that the Undying Court is a court of undead powered by positive energy. The job of a paladin of the Undying Court is to defend the court from everything that tries to destroy it. So there's not much else to say other than obviously you won't be able to use a great sword. You won't be able to use two-handed swords. If you wanted to use two-handed swords, or not two-handed swords because they're considered like not graceful by the elves, you can use a falchion. A falchion is like a wood elf thing. It's a Valenar elf thing, but in this game you can consider Valenar like the wood elves. Aerenal are more like the Corvair elves, for whatever reason. There is also a third type of elves, which is more tribal, but I forgot the name. It starts with T, doesn't matter. But the Undying, also Valenar is not really known for the Undying Court thing, because it's more like on the fringe of society of the elves. It's more like militaristic in nature. You can see some of them wielding dual scimitars and falchions though. So for this build in particular, we are going for 12 constitution because we are elves. We start with 6, so we put 6 points in constitution. We start with 16 strength. We start with 10 dexterity because that's an elf starting point. 12 intelligence, so you can grab some stuff. 14 wisdom, and 14 charisma. Why not 16 charisma? Because we don't have the stat points to do that. As for skills, we take a bit of concentration, but majorly during the leveling process you will be getting heal, tumble, and use magic device. While this may not actually be that much role play, it actually is. Heal because you are part of the biggest positive energy thing in the world and you are a paladin too. So heal makes sense because it boosts your positive energy. Tumble because you are an elf. Elves do favor grace. They do not wear a tower shield, so tumble makes sense. Use magic device. You are part of the Aerenal elves, so you have an affinity towards magic and things. So probably scrolls. I wouldn't go as far as use magic device for mechanical gizmos, but I would keep it for scrolls and scroll usage mostly. As for feat, obviously we take the greater shield mastery because we are not going with two-handed weapons, we are not going with bastard weapons, and we're not going with single weapon fightings because we are a paladin of the Undying Court. You could if you want to, there's nothing that stops you. So greater shield mastery is the combat line I've chosen for this lore build. Obviously slashing weapon if we go with long swords and scimitars. Improved shield bash, that's we have a shield. Knight training is temporarily acquired from the Knight of the Chalice. Power attack because, well, let's just say you're not going to be dealing a lot of damage. Those extra 5 damage are going to be very useful in heroics. You can exchange this feat with something like weapon finesse or weapon finesse if you have the stats, or precision, again assuming you have the stats. So keep that in mind. You can replace power attack once you're out of heroics. We have Lay on Hand. Obviously we did not take anything from the Paladin because those are automatically granted. Then we took Child of Fate. That gives me +2 to attack and damage. Very good in heroic. Doesn't scale much in epics, but that +2 attack is very useful. And then we have the Follower of the Undying Court and the Undying Call, which actually grants you a Raise Dead clicky for non-elves and a True Rest for elves. This is very good. We don't have much else here. So as you can see, it's a pretty standard build. There's nothing crazy. As for the enhancements, this is the standard split: 41 Knight of the Chalice, 39 Sacred Defense. This is the standard split. You can modify, mix and match this, but I would, if you want to follow the roleplay build, I would stay away from trees that will hamper the lore of the build. So Fey Dark Illusionist, I don't think being part of the Undying Court has anything to do with Feywild. So I would not use that to go charisma base and throw prismatic spray or color spray. Color spray, I think. Or greater color spray, whatever it is. I will go with Harper because Harper agents are part of the Forgotten Realms. So I would avoid that. Falconry, I do not have the knowledge to tell you this is lore accurate or not, but I would guess it's not. Vistani Knife Fighter, again, it's a Forgotten Realm thing from Ravenloft. I will stay away from that. Inquisitive is from Shard. I will stay away from that too. Horizon Worker is a gatekeeper thing. You are not a gatekeeper, but you might roleplay as one. But gatekeepers, generally speaking, they are not elves, so they're generally elf orcs and not elves. So those are the trees we got here. But the Vanguard tree can be useful, but honestly, what are you going to replace? The Knight of the Chalice? You need Knight of the Chalice. And Knight of the Chalice is an order of knights that uses the Great Sword, if I'm not mistaken. But we only have these three, so we don't have any other offensive tree. I could reset the tree and go full Vanguard if I wanted, but I'm gonna lose the imbue here. I'm gonna lose the ability to use longswords as favored weapons because the Undying Court gives me scimitar as a favored weapon and not longsword, even though I am Aerenal, reasons. And yeah, this is like, and we don't get Exalted Smite, which is the bread and butter of this of a paladin. So it feels like this build is pigeonholed. Now, if you have the enhancement points from a racial reincarnation, you can definitely go with the line of the Aerenal weapon training. This is called Elven weapon training. You pick Aerenal weapon training. If you're role playing as a Valenar, you can take the Valenar weapon training here. I think the Wood Elves have that too. You can go with the Arcane Archer if you want, just to grab a couple of imbue dices, but you're gonna lose a bit of the Sacred Defender probably. As for Epic, I just got to 21. You can do whatever you want. Honestly, Epics is all about not role-playing your character. So I just got this one because I wanted to try roleplay, but realistically speaking, you should be getting Fury of the Wild and Quick Cutter with every melee, just because it's such a good... There's nothing else that beats it. Like Consecration at level 21 does shit. It's just healing and everybody plays on Reaper, so it's not gonna work. So with that being said, let's look at the weapons available. For the Heroic Life, I used the Nightforge Avenger Blade, and that was it. This weapon is good. You can find it in a free-to-play quest. It's called Relic of a Sovereign Past. You just have to find adamantine ore. You need to get a key in one of the tunnels, open up a gate, and get the ores, trade for the sword. You're done. A shield, I'm using one from Midranor. I got the small shield of the Fallen Age, which is honestly better than what the average shield you get. It's better than all the shields you get in the heroic version of the game. Of course, if you find a large shield, it's even better. Tower shields you cannot use. Also, you're an elf, don't use tower shields if you're an elven paladin, if you want to stay lore accurate. You can switch for a scimitar. Why? Because paladins of the Undying Court are often seen wearing falchions if they are the executioners cast, the ones that kill stuff. They are also seen using the double scimitar. So if you want to dual wield a scimitar, because we don't have a dual scimitar in this game, just basically choose scimitars with one handle, and you use them like a dual blade, something like that. And there's the typical sword and board paladin of the Undying Court. So scimitar is perfectly fine. I have an epic ethereal scimitar here for reapers and ghosts. For this demonstration, I will be using the Nightforge Avenger Blade because it sports a 1420 times 4 compared to a 1520 times 2. So let's get inside the quest and see how we roll on Elite. I'm not going to be playing on Reaper because this is a lore-wise build. I want to test it on Elite. I know for some of you, Reaper is the default difficulty. So if you have this is also a first life character, so keep that in mind. That's one of the many reasons I'm not going to be playing on Reaper with this character. But if you have an old character, you want to just roleplay this build, you can play on Reaper, it's fine. You probably have the past lives to do that.
Inquisitor Noman waits for you near the entrance. An irritated scowl on his face.
That's fantastic, Noman, now shut up. So let's buff first. We have Holy Sword, we have the usual Paladin buffs. Zeal, Righteous Command, Angel Skin. Bless, very underrated spell, it gives you a lot of attack. And Prayer also gives you a different type of bonus attack. We have Divine Might, and we have Divine Favor, which I think is the same as Prayer. Yes, it's the same as Prayer. Now, why don't you just stay there?
Novice, stay near me.
Good. Now let's start by slaying these cultists. Our rotation is gonna be Smite Evil, Retribution, and that's about it. Those are the only two things we're gonna... Oh, we need to cast this. So let's wait for them to bunch up as always. Drop this and start Smite Evil. Start Smite Eviling. Some of these guys will die. Let's do another Smite Evil. 1.4 thousand damage. That's nice. Can do more if you double strike probably. As you can see, the damage is not that bad, all in all. I'm not even using the action boost. Right, let's keep moving. Now keep in mind this is not a 200 build. It's not a 200 Bastazur build. It is what it is. Now the Sunder does not proc often because reason. It's a first life character, so do not expect much. Because you don't have a large shield or tower shield, you'll be taking a little bit more damage, and armor class is not the best.
However, there may be more of them. We must press on.
Now, if I had a large shield, which I can totally use on this build, I will probably have better stats than this. Also, I'm using found gear, so, and some spare I had lying around, but mostly I use what I find. I went to do the red fence. I still have red fence stuff on me, as you can see. Got armor of the new moon in Midranor. So a few items here. Level 10 cloak. As you can see, the character is dressed as you would be dressed if you played a new character from scratch. Probably worse than what you would have because I played with friends and they are they can open Reaper. Let's just put it that way. So is this build better than the Dwarf? Okay, the Dwarf was the master of crowd controlling. This build is okay. Alright, it doesn't have crowd control. Eventually, Consecration will be the crowd control thing. If you want, you can switch to the Scimitar and see how it works. Does slightly less damage, as you can see. So Nightforge Avenger Blade beats the Scimitar, but that is necessary for Reapers. Purify the altar. So in case you're wondering what the enhancements are, basically all the line for damage and attack, because we're using a one-handed sword, we need all the help we can get. Extra Smite Evils, Divine Might for the extra inside bonus to attack, damage and DC saves from your charisma. It's half of your charisma modifier, so 8 becomes 4. Alright, so that's a 4 bonus, plus 4. I got the critical hit damage because this becomes very huge if you stack it. Extra action boost, we don't have any other action boosts. I'm not gonna go out of my way to grab action boosts like haste. Melee range power, I think it's better. Because the only way a haste boost is good is if you keep doing this. This is where haste boost shines. If you run in and do one AoE, haste boost is not gonna help you. Range boost is gonna help you. So sorry, melee action power is gonna help you. We also got the Exalted Smite. This is the bread and butter. It is heavy cost, 2 points per 1 rank, and you need 3 ranks. But it gives you +2 to your weapon's critical threat range and damage multiplier. It's also an AoE, so given that we are using a sword and board, we're not gonna getting any AoEs, so this is the first AoE you get. Heroics wise, you can use Exalted Attack. I get little respect to get it out of the system. This is absolutely trash compared to the cleave and great cleave variants we have. So it just deals AoE damage with a longsword. Yeah, it's not that great. It's good in the beginning, so you don't have to kill the 5,000 kobolds. Maybe, you know, sometimes I need to remember to heal between fights. That would be great. Now, we also have Eating Amplification from the Vigor of Life. We have Censure Demon and Censure Outsider. That gives me 10 melee power, tier 5. And then we have the Stun on Vorpal for Chaotic Evil Outsiders. We have Ascendancy here. That gives me +2 attack and damage with all weapons, and an additional +2 attack with favored weapons. 15% fort bypass. You get 3 melee power when you attack undead or evil outsider. It's a very situational enhancement for the last part, the second part, but you know, this game has a lot of undead and evil outsiders. So, you know, obviously these guys are not evil outsiders, so there is no stack of ascendancy going on here. So our DPS is a little bit throttled down because we're not fighting the proper enemies. And then we use Holy Retribution, which is good for heroics, but as you go into epics, and as you can see and read from the textbook, you can see evil creatures between 5,000 and 1,000 HP have a 50% chance to be forced to make this save or die. So 50% chance to make the save, but they can still make the save. And so it's, you know, it starts to scale a little bit, and more than 5,000 HP, 30% chance to make the save. So it kind of loses its value, but at the very least, it's another extra AoE you got, plus 50% damage, whatever. It also recharges one of your turn undead. So it's in the rotation. You do Smite, Holy Retribution, you get back your Smite. It has a high cooldown, so you cannot do it every Smite evil, but it still works. As for the Sacred Defender, we got the usual stuff, honestly. Obviously, we get the improved Sacred Defense stance here, Strength and Constitution, we get extra lay on hands, we get PRR and saving throws, Armor Mastery, Shield Mastery, some Commanding Presence for physical resistance rating, and you might want to attract the attention away from the mages and clerics if you're playing in a group. I was playing in a group, so I got this one. And now we have the aura that gives me +5 armor class. There is also the reinforced armor for 50% bonus to armor and dodgents. But sadly, that's where we stop. Got 2 points of charisma just to improve my saving throws. And the rest is stuff from the core thing. We also have the imbue toggle with a lot of imbue dices. And it seems to be a scales on melee power, which is also good. Now, the problem with this build is the damage output. As you can see, it's not great. So we're gonna have to pull some buffs here. As you can see, the enemy will hit you because, I don't know, they wanted to kill armor class. Good job, I guess. We also don't have a lot of armor class. We are running on stuff that is absolutely outdated. We have, well, Midranor is actually not outdated. I'd say this is a good armor to have. You can probably upgrade with Vecna, I don't know. The shield is definitely in need of upgrading, but it gives you a lot of armor class. Like if you look at the armor class, I go from 95 to 80. So that's 15 armor class. Not only that, but I get a 10% boost to HPs. So, you know, that's that.
There are light scuff marks around the bookshelf.
You obviously lose a little bit on PRR, which is important. Oh, hi. How are you doing, guys? See, it doesn't land on everybody. These guys have 3000 HP, so they have a 50% chance to try and make the save. Purify the altar. So it kind of starts losing, as with all of the abilities that you see in heroics, they all start to die down as you venture into epics. It is what it is, guys.
The novice who accompanied Noman lies on the ground in the hallway ahead.
Nobody cares about the novice. Alright, let's drop the consecration. And they still work, as you can see. You can tumble away and dodge some of the stuff, although we are now losing the consecration aura. You can dodge forward towards the enemy. This way you don't lose your positioning, because you will be dodging right in the face of the enemy, and the collision hitbox will stop you from going through. Alright, we can now, I'd say we can toss a lay on hand. Now we can fight the boss here. Let's see, let's drop another Smite Evil. And Retribution, which did nothing, as you can see. Alright, we need to kill this guy. I'm pretty sure I clicked on lay on hands, but sometimes this game doesn't understand that you are giving orders. Okay, a prayer is needed here. And we miss the Exalted Smite. And the Retribution just to gain one smite back. Alright, open the chest, see if we can find ending. Whatever, game, you don't want me to get the chest? That's fine. Can I open this thing? Thank you. So, is the build working? I do not know. It seems like it's working. So, yay, I guess. Do I want this? Whatever.
As the path leads down,
We're gonna work. I want to walk you through this stuff, and you can judge for yourself whether the build is worth trying. It's a pretty standard paladin, but with a little bit of lore sprinkled all over it. There are some things you need to keep in mind when you make this build, but overall it's decent enough. Keep in mind we're playing on Elite because of the first life, you know, thing. This is not one of those optimized meta builds where you just play on Reaper 1 with no equipment and whatnot. We avoided the traps thanks to Tumble. We are elves. We need to make sure we leverage our ability as an elf. Did I get everything? Okay, let's keep moving. Dead Knights. There's a crown over there, champion. Well, we killed the Dead Knights. Thank you, Wire, for taking the spotlight. I'm not looking for experience here. I'm not destroying this sarcophagi. You will do no such thing.
You will do no such thing. The Silver Flame has caused enough trouble. Soon nothing I can say will throw them off the scent. No, you will stay
Alright.
here and
Shut
see
up,
that no
Norman.
one
Nobody
gets
cares about
far.
you.
I will go below and assist our guest.
Yes, you assist your guest. Alright, let's bunch them up. And as you can see, it's actually not bad. Are you still talking, Nomon? There may be more indeed. We're already here. What you gonna do now? They hired the cudgel. See, yes. See, we are gonna kill you now. That's the problem, bro. Tamael, where are the knights? I don't know. They just, you know, this game jank. Did you just get stuck over there, Mr. Death Knight? Yes, you did. No, don't attack Wayo. Wayo is not your enemy. I'm your enemy. Fine, now I have aggro. Let's go and beat this guy. Let's pop the action boost. 4,200 damage on a damage reduction monster. Not bad. Not bad. Exalted Smite is where your big damage will come from. Why does this build work? Because I have a good weapon. Vulnerability, absolutely great for a paladin, right? Oh, full inventory. Well, we might actually have some stuff here. Whatever, we're not gonna get the vulnerability anyways. Oh look, a Templar Bulwark. It's not bad, but I already have one. It's mithril though, so we can use it definitely. No, this is good for my elf sorcerer. What can we toss away? Robe of Sunlight? Yeah, probably not gonna use it. Let's grab this stalwart book, something. Let's see if we can make it through the end of the quest, actually. It's easy to kill trash mobs. It's a little bit more complicated to get to the end of the quest without dying. Why you come over here, please? Oh, look at the damage. Oh, beautiful. The problem with this build is it's a little bit squishy. I don't know how to fix that, but I guess it's part of the fact that we are playing an elf and we have like a lore sprinkled in it, like no tower shield. Obviously with UMD you could use Master Touch and wear tower shields. Because you're a paladin, you have charisma. But keep in mind, elves do not use tower shields. They're considered not gracious. Plate, technically, they should not be using plate. That's the thing with elves. They prefer mobility, they prefer grace, the Aerenal elves. So ideally you want to use a mithril plate if you want to be playing lore-wise. Or a chainmail at best. Medium armor most likely. But not clumsy heavy armors. But of course this is DDO. So if you wear a chainmail as a paladin you're probably gonna explode. Either that or you make it a dex-based build. Namon, I'm talking. Can you please do that in silence? Summon your shit in silence, thank you. Yes, give yourselves to your whatever.
To the glory of our cause.
Fantastic. Let's buff.
Let my minions kill this filth.
I'm sure your minions will kill me. I'm sure, absolutely. Nice. And they all die. Oh, your minions are so great, Nomon. Can I also death block myself? Yeah, that's what is important in this fight. Anyways, let's test this. Let's activate auto attack because I don't want carpal tunnel. Alright, there you go, you can start... Oh, Wayo, please. By all means, please stop dying. Look at the damage. The damage is not bad. When you crit, you do a lot of damage thanks to Knight's Training and the Night Avenger crit profile. The Night Avenger crit profile, with all the buffs, is gonna be 1420 times 4. Not bad. Not bad. Boom, 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 boom. Why is it times 4? Wait a second. This is supposed to be a times 3, right? It goes for with Knight's Training and all his sword. Morale bonus to critical multiplier, and then we have +1 to competence. Well, oh, it's because it's a lower crit. Oh, sorry, this is the one with the lower crit profile. Yes, it's the Watcher's Blade, the one with a times 3. Sorry, I do have that one too, but I found that the higher crit multiplier doesn't really sit well with the damage, and I found out that the Night Forge Blade is better than the Watcher's Blade, simply because you crit a lot more, and critting more is better than critting harder, simply because it's more reliable. Let's use some... yeah, this is definitely easier than using the Dwarf, the Anvil Ward Stance Dwarf. But that's because I have a Cleric here healing me. And there you go, this is the Paladin of the Undying Court. Elf from Aerenal. If you make a character, Sidvariel Vylorn is the name I've chosen. This character can be anything from mage to ranger to rogue. Paladin, it can be a fighter, I guess. It can be many things. So it's a very versatile race. Of course, there are races they cannot be, but you know, it's part of the charm. All of this is lore-wise, by the way. This is not to be taken not lore-wise. I'm gonna throw the magic essence away because why would I even want them? I'm not gonna grind crafting. Take this stuff, take this stuff, take this stuff. Okay. What is this? A necromantic gem? I don't need that. Thank you very much, though. Alright, this is the build. If you enjoy the build, you can try it out. Let me know how it goes. It's definitely something. It's definitely something. And I did enjoy playing through this build. It's a little bit boring when you're playing Sharn, mostly because Sharn has a lot of high HP monsters. And with a longsword playing on Reaper, you know, you're mostly relying on your friends to do the brunt of the damage. And you will also not be doing fine when it comes to defense because you're not using the best defense possible. Regardless, this is the build. Thank you for watching, guys. Have fun.